speaking of the game, the NFL, kind of the time lapse of were they going to play, were they going to come back? Joe Buck mentioned 4 times that you're going to get a five-minute warm-up period and then come back and play. The NFL said, no, that's not the case. Why the miscommunication between the NFL and what ESPN was reporting?
Dan, the best I can glean from this, because Troy Vincent, the executive VP of football operations on the conference call I mentioned earlier, was very, very clear. He said, I don't know where that came from, and it's insensitive, it's ridiculous to even have that out there. Now, it's possible that standard procedure, when there is an injury that stops the game for a certain period of time, that there's a minimal amount of time that goes by, that they'll say the teams get 5 minutes to get ready to resume, that someone was operating off of that manual until they realized we're dealing with a situation for which there was no precedent, there is no manual, and that became the right solution. So they got to the right place, and it may just be as folks were trying to do the best they could along the way, someone thought that that would be the procedure that would be implemented. But it became abundantly clear that the teams were not in a position that they could continue last night, and the NFL made the right decision at the end of the day.
But I wonder, did the NFL make this decision, or did the head coaches and the captains make this decision that they weren't ready to play football? Because it felt like they were passing the phone around. You saw the 2 head coaches conferring. The NFL rep is there. I get the sense that maybe it was the quarterbacks and coaches who said, we're not playing football. What do you think?
What was said last night by Troy Vincent was he was basically the point person communicating by phone with the referee for the game, Sean Smith, who was talking to the coaches. Troy Vincent speaking with the coaches, Troy Vincent speaking with Commissioner Roger Goodell, and also NFL Players Association Executive Director DeMaurice Smith, and they got to that point. Now, look, if the players just can't play, then somebody needs to be the first one to say, hey, NFL, we just can't do this, because the system is set up, Dan, and this is where the unprecedented nature of this, I think, is most clearly crystallized. Players get injured all the time. The NFL is one giant football machine consisting of interchangeable parts, and we've heard next man up for years. So somebody gets injured, that person is replaced, and the game goes on. All sorts of various different types and magnitudes of injury. This is the first time that the injury created an event so horrifying that the players could not continue. Mm-hmm. The coaches could not continue. The game could not continue. And again, there's no manual, there's no precedent. Next time it happens, and God forbid it doesn't happen anytime soon, if ever, there will be a precedent that can be drawn upon. But this was the creation of the precedent, and I think that's why there may be some miscommunication, misunderstanding. You would expect misunderstanding at a time like this when people are struggling to understand what's happening. So somebody had to be the one to say, I don't think we can do it. And the coaches and the quarterbacks, the team leaders, would be the ones in the best position to be the ones to say that.